Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Knight of Discs. Okay, let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. I'm sorry for the crunching. There we go. To get the light over this way. Okay. So I see this big face. It looks like maybe the face of like a baby or a little angel. It looks like a cherub, kind of, with the little. Now you can't see the body, but the little wings here, and then the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Kind of this cute cheeks, and so, immediately I see we have a real sense of peace when we see this kind of angelic little joyful babies. They often are related to Eros or love, but also can be just, happiness in general. The ability to feel the joy of life in this moment. And, and it's interesting. I don't necessarily see the cute little angel babies so much in popular kind of decorative culture. When I was a kid, in the 80s and 90s, it really seemed to be quite a kind of, well, I'm not going to say a trend so much. It was a revival, or kind of, I guess a revival. But yeah, I feel like this image in my mind, it takes me back to, just little knickknacks and things, and like a fridge magnet. But I think it brings joy into the home, and a playfulness, and of course just the kind of a drawing upon that joy of a baby in those later infant stages. And so I do. I feel like this week, Scorpio, there is an energy of kind of renewal, rebirth, and quite a enjoyment of your surroundings, of your circumstances, the things that are going on right now. We are in the midst of holiday season once again. I think we're still in Ramadan. We are heading up to Holy Week here pretty soon. Let's see, what else? Well, Easter or Aster or Ostar. I don't know how to say it. I've read it. I don't. But I think that's in line with the equinox, right? But there are a lot of different fertility festivals, spring festivals happening, and so it is a beautiful, beautiful time, and spirits rising. Also, in the southern hemisphere, I have not been, but I imagine you all kind of, not unlike ourselves here, when we go from summer into that fall and autumn, there's a sense of relief from the kind of oppressive heat. Hopefully, that has showed up for you, a little bit of ease. And yes, this kind of just feeling good, feeling in touch with that kind of silly side that loving and enjoying, right? So, and let me just say, my voice, I know it's, I've had people ask in the last week or two, you're breathing heavily, you sound bad, whatever. Yeah, I still kind of have the flu. Now I don't know what I have. I have something else going on. Hopefully it stays away from the rest of the family. Hoping I'm not getting pneumonia, which I'm scared of that. But yeah, trying to do everything to boost my immune system and such. So I really appreciate you all for, being understanding, being patient with me. I promise my voice will get back to where it needs to be, And so let's take a look. We also have right here a 31. Okay, we also have, it looks like 7-7, or maybe 7L, okay, right up there. Let's see. Hi, Mama. Nope, stay away from the plant. Thank you. Okay, so we have a person right up here. You can see the head right here, the body. Honey, we're messing up the focus. All right, there you go. Yeah, figure out where you're going, mamas. Come on. Why don't you go find Poppy? He's in bed already. Okay? All right, here we go. So we have the body. It looks like, I know I'm looking at it and it reminds me of kind of a seer, right? Almost the high priestess. She could be sitting. We also have, it looks like, I'm thinking of like elements right here, kind of all balanced together. The two white parts and the two, where is it? The two white parts and the two dark parts right here. And kind of in a sphere and kind of all, very balanced there. We also have, it looks like a person standing here gazing towards this seer, oracle maybe. And so I feel that we also have a key down here, a very prominent key. So I feel that there is a sense of, you're searching, you're here, right? You're watching maybe other tarot videos, tea leaf readings, divination of some kind, looking for some answers. Maybe you are somebody who does this often. Maybe this is your first time. But I do feel like there's a sense of trying to suss out some practical matters in your life. I don't think that this is like necessarily the big spiritual things, but I feel like in your daily life there's a sense of disturbance. Where I feel like the last reading we had, it felt like things were going really smoothly. You're feeling very positive. Now, I think that is still the case, but I feel that there's this lingering kind of energy, and I feel that it is somebody who kind of has their gaze upon you. Maybe a coworker, maybe a family member, a community member, something, okay? I don't know that this is negative, but I'm looking up here and I see we have a stop sign, and above that we have a shark, okay? So I feel like this is somebody who, for the most part, is probably just a nosy person. I mean, let's just get down to it. I feel like this is mostly just a nosy person. But I also feel like this is somebody who can be a little vindictive. Now, I don't believe that they've been so with you, but I think that you've witnessed their moods, I guess. It's moods, their actions, the way that they keep friendships, talk about people, so on, so on, so on. Right? We all know people like this, right? Where it's like, okay, we're cool, but I'm going to keep you at arm's length, right? Because I've seen how you move with the people that you actually care about or claim to care about, who are actually your friends. And the way that you talk about them, the way that you do them is kind of, it doesn't seem really on the level, okay? So I do feel like this is kind of somebody they're kind of in the woodwork a bit, but they're there and you notice them. You feel them more than even notice them. You feel them, and for whatever reason, and maybe it is because you had been going through some, kind of tower moments. Things were not perfect. Some big life changes, and now it's kind of, coming together. You've done a lot of work in this last 6 months, and so we have this person who is just kind of studying you, right? And I don't think that you like this necessarily, but I also don't think that there's a necessity to kind of, I don't know, maybe, protect yourself. I will always say this is the mom in me, right? Be careful who you spend your time with, right? Be discerning. Be very, very, very thoughtful about who you bring into your home, who you, allow in your sacred spaces, especially in your places that you sleep, places where you maybe worship or, keep sacred things. I think it is our instinct to want to share the things that we're doing, and that's fine. I've posted pictures of some of my altars. Now I keep ones that are very private, but some of them, and that's fine. I used to be superstitious and thinking nobody should be, nobody can look at this. But I understand the urge because I've done it myself. I show things off and whatever. But I do feel that we can trip ourselves up a little bit because we're bringing in energies from people who maybe don't have the best intentions. Now, especially in the physical world. I don't necessarily feel that there's very much difference or very much of a difference between, say, you're talking to somebody online and you're letting them into your private life and you're spending time with them, your energy is building together. Not very different from IRL. I mean, as far as like esoteric thinking goes. Come on. I know, come on. You just want to come up here and then jump and then come up here and jump. But I feel, that I think this intuitively, that this person just, I don't know what it is about them, but I don't think it's personal as far as your involvement. But I do think that this is somebody that just, they're just a bit of a hater. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, jealous. And I think, another thing that you probably notice about them is when you do come in contact, when there are conversations, they're kind of a one-upper, right? There's somebody that always, now this isn't that it's somebody who tries to relate with their own personal experience, but this is somebody who's like, oh, I'm sick. You tell them this, I've been sick or whatever. And then the other person's like, oh yeah, I've been so sick. I couldn't get out of bed or, and then the next thing, oh yeah, we, I don't know what the heck. I read the one that I've read the first book of the Dune series, right? Oh, well, I've read the whole thing. Well, maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but you know what I mean. It's just always kind of a one-upping of everything. I think that for a Scorpio, I can't imagine that you'd put up with that energy for too long anyways. But I feel like there's this sense of going to the oracle to kind of figure out what is this disturbance in my life. It has a rippling effect and I don't like it. You know, it's making you feel a little too observed. So I would say, you know, limit contact with this person, obviously. Maybe limit what you're sharing about yourself, your private life, on social media or with people you know who may be, you know, talking about things. But also, I'm always a sucker for a good talisman or sigil, and you know, creating some kind of icon image, drawing. It could be, you know, words or whatever, putting it at your front and back door, maybe in the room that you sleep, as well as kind of a protection. And also just kind of, you know, obscuring yourself through. Now, the book I always like to bring up is Psychic Self-Defense. And that's by Dion Fortune. I was I was searching there in my mind for the Dion Fortune, and a pretty helpful book. So you know, you can do this through meditation. You can do it through you know, there are a lot of techniques, but and it goes hand in hand with limiting what you're sharing, kind of lowering your aura. Well, they say it's like lowering your aura, but also just being more stealth within your own life, right? Now, this may be hard for a Scorpio a little bit sometimes, but people are drawn to you, right? So, but just kind of making yourself a little more unseen, but also doing this in conjunction with the kind of spiritual, you know, you can envision yourself kind of putting over a veil or kind of shutting a door, or something I like to envision is kind of going into the leaves, into the foliage, and kind of getting lost in my natural surroundings, really blending in, and this might be helpful. It might be something that will help deter their kind of gaze upon you. And I don't know that it's really the evil eye, but I do feel like it's, you know, more that they're interested in you, what you're doing, your energy, but they're also just not very, they don't seem like a very, I hate to like sound like I'm passing judgment on people's, like, you know, their energies, but it just doesn't seem like they're a person that is very thoughtful of others' feelings, or how they make people, you know, feel, or if they make people feel unsafe, or, you know, whatever it is. So yes, definitely something to consider for yourself. Now, we also have two people down here. Okay, and they're looking up, and I see a child up there, and kind of pointing towards the child, and so I almost feel like this is a situation of mother, child, older child, and baby. Okay, and it seems like it could be you and your sibling and your mother. But I almost feel like it's like there is a sense of, well, I almost wonder if you were raised by a single parent, or even if it wasn't a single parent, there is a sense of you three being the core of the family. Dad maybe was around, but was very busy working, or just kind of emotionally unavailable, or whatever it was. And I feel like it feels important. I see that the mother and the older sibling, their feet are in the metaphysical. So I feel like these two are very archetypal for you. I mean, beyond the obvious, but they almost feel like these are beloved, kind of like co-spirit travelers, right? You've manifested in different life cycles together. I feel like you stay in close proximity to one another. You probably live near each other. When you are out of touch for very long, it really affects you. I think that's like almost kind of a trinity of the three of you there. And so, and there's love. I see the hearts, the hearts, the hearts. And then even we have here, it looks like we have the sacred heart. You can see kind of the roundness, and then let me get my little stick. The roundness here, and then the little fire. So also a sense of agape, okay? And this is the key as well. So that's interesting. We have the sacred heart on, and it's the top of the key. So, I mean, that tells me immediately that, love is the law for you. Love is your language. Love is your religion. And that is not only the family love, but this is the love of the divine, of God, goddess, whatever it is that, however you relate to the cosmos, or the divinity, or however you experience that. And so, I think that immediately what comes to mind is when you are in a place of great stressors, or feeling not quite yourself, or in a place that can be quite trying, going into those modes of intentional love, of intentional worship, devotion, being of service, communing, and being in fellowship. All of these things kind of really pull you out of that kind of that thought loop that you kind of go through, I think, where you're really kind of ruminating on interior situations. And so let's take a look here. I like that. Well, I like the Sacred Heart being the key. And actually, how interesting. I just even noticed this. Look at this. Now, this isn't exactly the Sacred Heart, but it's similar. It has a flower of the mysteries right here, and the key. How cool. So it's not exactly the same, but it is similar. You can see the key there. The key and the key on this one. So that's a beautiful image. I like that. I am going to put that in my journal, actually, because it is I want to maybe meditate on that image. Okay, so we have some fish. We have some birds in flight. So I feel that you will have a message that has to do with kind of positive financial news, right? So something good is coming. Maybe a raise, maybe a new job offer. Maybe you are doing side works, or maybe you have a channel. I know a lot of people who watch have their own channels and things, on different platforms as well. Maybe that's starting to get going for you. Which, speaking of, if you do have a channel, a service, or a small business that you would like to advertise, please go over to the community section here. There's a post towards the top there. I think it's the last thing I posted. where you can put your information. And I know people go in there and look. Also, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. That's my husband, Paul. He has a huge channel. Well, it's getting huge. He's over 200K. So to me, I'm like, whoa, that's so big. But yes, he has the same post up. So if you go over to his community section and post your information, even more eyes on that. And check out his videos, because if you have not heard his tarot reading, you will absolutely be blown away the first time you do. He's really, really good. Okay, so we also have a little horse and we have a face. Okay, so I do feel like there's a sense of, I feel like you maybe were drawn to horses. Maybe you were like a horse person when you were a kid, you know, like the kids that were like just obsessed with horses, or maybe you rode them, maybe you lived near them, but I also see we have this pretty face, and I feel like there's almost a sense of I'm trying to figure this out. What does this mean? Almost kind of, maybe you made a connection through your love of horses. Maybe like a best friend. Maybe you, if you were somebody who rode horses or you ride horses, you have a community because of that. But I feel like there's somebody in particular who maybe shares your love, and there was a close bond there. And you can see with the horse's head here, it's kind of in the heart space. And so I feel like there's a sense of kind of this person really getting me. This is somebody who really like shared your interests, your fixations, maybe, even it led to your friendship. And as you maybe grew up, or even now, if this is kind of your connection, it kind of it's spanned into other parts of life. And I feel like this is one of your people that maybe you'll always be friends with. I think that we talk about like the great loves of our life, usually romantically. I always like that thought of there's 3 great loves of your life. But, also we have our great loves of our family members, our children, usually, especially. And, but we also have friendships like that, don't we? At least I figure in my mind, I look back on my life and I have different eras. But I have, a few great loves as far as friends. And I feel like this is one of yours. And I feel them really kind of coming up in your mind recently. I feel that there's a little bit of a sense of nostalgia. But for some reason, it feels like there maybe is a reconnection. Also interesting, we have a person standing and looking up. There's a butterfly, like they're outside gazing upwards and looking at that butterfly. And I feel like this is almost kind of you in your self-evolution, and maybe coming back in contact with this person after some time, and both seeing how much you've grown as people, even in these last, couple of years here. And I feel like this is a real sense of celebration.
9:16 p.m.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why it does that sometimes. My daughter set that off the other day. I was like, what is that? Okay, let's see. Now, we're going to look at the lightness of being affirmation cards. Okay, these are really pretty. These are the earth element ones. And I'm just going to flip through and stop where it feels right. We'll flip it over here. And it says, universal love, harmony, Contemplate yourself as a chalice for love. The blooming of the rose. All right. The blooming of the rose. The mysteries of love. Yeah, and we have that rose. It's kind of a flower. It looks like a bush rose in this one. I have the old school roses that are kind of like that, and yeah, the mystery of a blooming rose. All right, TT, come over here. Let's give him a nice purr. Not a burp. Come on. Yeah, come see mamas. Let's say goodbye to these lovely Scorpio peoples. All right, Scorpio, I thank you so much for spending this time with me. And I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you. I thank you once again for putting up with my icky soundingness. And also, I'm on flu medicine, so I feel a little bit loopy. Just a little bit. But yes, I thank you so much. And if you'd be so kind as to like the video, it does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And it's free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. All right, with that, we will say good night. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you in just a few days. Right, TT? Oh.